Hey, what is up, y'all? We are back 2 months late for our second ever podcast episode with our untitled caffeinated something podcast. We'll figure it out in the future. I'm Alex, and joining with me is my co-host James, and of course, my son, Kavi, hiding in the shadows, lurking, being gangsta with his Swiss LA bucket hat. For this one, we're gonna let James handle the conversation aspect, because why not, right? James, what do we got for us today?
Oh, all right. Let's start with a little bit of a light topic. What have you guys been playing lately?
I've been playing Arkham Asylum, replaying it, and on the channel, and it's I do not remember it being as difficult as it is. It could just be age, but because I played Arkham Knight like about a year ago, I want to say, and I don't feel like I struggled as much with Arkham Knight's combat as I am with Asylum. It's just the old archaic, like I'm saying archaic because it's a PS3 game, let's be honest, and the fact that like the dodge button, like you're not invincible during a dodge. If you get clipped by anything, you still get hit. So it's a lot more like it's almost like one of those like a Metroidvania in that sense, where it's like you have to memorize or really visualize, I should say, what is happening. Sorry, oh my god, my throat. In order to beat some sections. And the part that I just did was the boss fight against Poison Ivy and the fight right before that. And those were bullshit. I'm gonna upload a clip at some point involving all that, but it was complete bullshit. What about you, Kavi?
I mean, for me, nothing new. I was replaying Rise of Ronin. Because I couldn't get my hands on a copy of Ghost of Yotei at one point, so to scratch that itch, I just decided to play Rise of Ronin. And I went on to also platinum God of War and looking to platinum God of War Ragnarok, so that's been my thing right now.
I remember platinuming God of War and not realizing you didn't need to do it on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't the trophy, but I did it on the hardest difficulty, so...
Yes, so I went on to play it on the hardest difficulty too, and goddamn that
The Valkyrie fights, man.
It's ridiculous.
Actually awful.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What about you,
Yeah. I've been playing the Ghost of Yotei that I was supposed to lend Kavi.
Excellent.
Well, I've been playing with the camera mode as much as the actual gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
That game is beautiful, man. It really is.
I mean, it won Game of the Year for a reason. Wait, no, it didn't.
No,
Expedition did. I saw your background. I immediately was like, Expedition won Game of the Year for a reason, because they also just got camera mode. No, Ghost of Yotei won basically nothing. But yes, no, like visually, I think what it is, it's the honestly, I think it's the color palette, right?
Right.
Like if it wasn't for the use of, striking color against like some muted backgrounds in areas, like that's the same thing with Ghost of Tsushima, where it's like, like certain areas just look so vibrant. Like what in Yotei you have, there's the forest that has like all the red leaves, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Insane. Absolutely insane. Like very few games do I look at and be like, oh my god, I want more of this. And it's also refreshing, that game, with like how bright it is compared to a lot of other games where it's like, even I was looking at Neo 3, right? Because I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'll play Neo 3 on stream. A lot of that game is still really dark. And like, just, I don't know if it's the fact that I'm, playing with the HDR screen, but there are points where I'm just like, yo, I can't see the shit in front of me without turning the brightness and then fucking up the recording.
Yeah, interesting you said that, because different developers do color correction / contrast depending on what they have at the moment, right? So if they have certain kinds of monitors at their studio at that time, then they'll pretty much account for those monitors first and foremost, right? It used to be a little bit more extreme back in the day, right? Back when CRT used to be the main source of visual, right? Developers obviously made sprites with CRT in mind, and then when we switched with HD, and then there were the converters, right, into HDMI. Suddenly those retro games looked very, very off, right?
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, oh man, it's so funny how we've come from, a very, like, I would say we went, maybe it's waves, right? Where it's like you start with the vibrant pixel era, right? 16-bit and 32-bit. And then the first couple of polygonal games, a lot of them like are either super colorful or they're very washed out. Or they use a lot of like earthy tones for whatever reason. And then after that, when we went to the HD era, it was a little bit more colorful for a bit, and then it went back to kind of like this sort of like washed out earthy tone look. And it's just like a constant rise and fall with a lot of the games I find, right? Because I'm thinking back to like, PS1 and 64 era. There's a lot of colorful games, but there's also a lot of games that just look like shit because they have a weird like film on them almost, right? And then you think like, okay, well, what about PS2, GameCube era? PS2, there's a lot of like games that have striking color. There's also a lot of games like the Devil May Cry series where it's like, yeah, you have like Dante who's in like this sharp red, but then the rest of the background is brown. Right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I do remember mostly the PS3 era, I believe, had very muddy colors.
Yeah, PS3 360. Yeah, I blame Gears of War. Call of Duty.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on the game, right? If you look at something like, let's say, for example, Elden Ring, right? A lot of its palette is very gray and dark, and it makes sense thematically.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you would probably apply the same kind of idea to Ghost of Yoti, right? Because it's a revenge story, right? So it should have a lot of like dark colors, right? But no, it actually has the whole freaking range of the color wheel, and it works.
Yeah, I think it's to offset it, right? To offset the story, to like remind you that like it's bigger than oh my god, what's her name? James, what's her name? Atsu. It's bigger than her story, right? Like there is a whole world, and I think the whole thing with the tree in her home, right? Like how it's like a super. I'm forgetting so much. It's been a few months. I'm already blanking on like the names of stuff. But the tree, like the symbol of the game is like the leaf of that tree, And like the fact that it's so resilient, it survived, you know, the burning down of her home. And that's kind of like the point of even just like the area that you play in, that, you know, it's practically war torn, but the nature and the beauty of it still survives. So I think it's like that sort of like balancing act, which you don't get in a lot of games.
Yeah, very, very true. Speaking of colors and contrasts, there's this topic that has been in both Alex's and my mind, and that is yellow paint in games. Alex, what do we mean by yellow paint?
Oh my god, yellow paint. So, of course, this is a topic that's been murdered to death by a lot of people, right? Every, you know, video game journalist, a lot of other content creators. And it's one of those polarizing things I find, where even just a few people that I've talked to online about it, where it's like some people think that yellow paint kind of just started with, you know, the end of the PS4 era, and kind of like more into the PS5 era, where it's kind of like that you know, subtle guiding system that developers use to guide the player from one point to another, so they can still be, you know, sort of immersed in their game. But I'm finding more and more as I'm going back and playing older games that it's been around for a while, and it's just that I think everyone got so used to, you know, and it's especially in like open world games, right? But people got so used to the Ubisoft and the Bethesda way of telling you what to do, right? You know, everyone can picture in their mind the little, you know, quest indicator from any Assassin's Creed or like Fallout or Elder Scrolls, any game that you've played to death, telling you where you need to go and what you need to do. And then along comes, you know, games like Resident Evil 4, where, you know, it's like, oh, you can go here because there's yellow paint on the wall. Now, does yellow paint fit Resident Evil 4? I mean, maybe not, right? They could have probably used something else, but it works, right? Hell, even in Arkham Asylum, right? Like right now, yes, it does have a map that tells you where you need to go, but the most like subtle thing that kind of like pushes you in a direction is the stupid little like Joker teeth, right? Like the gag teeth that are just on the ground, that kind of keys you into like, you can go to something over here. So even back in when was Arkham Asylum, like 2008, 2009, 2010, somewhere around there, like,
right?
Even then they were doing it.
Yeah, it's been around for a very, very long time. One of the earliest examples I can think of is the first Assassin's Creed. Right, there were whenever you wanted to parkour or / climb, let's say a tower, right? There will be these bricks. They will really stick out, right? It blended in with the rest of the environment, right? But it was pretty obvious.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember that. Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's when the quote unquote yellow paint craze exploded. That's when it became more prominent. Is that right?
I mean, we'll find out as I bring up a thing. So, yellow paint game design. Oh my god, I forgot. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Too much yellow paint. They could have done something completely different, but that's like the first thing when you Google yellow paint game design, they say Uncharted 2 and FF7 Rebirth. but it's then most people are highlighting FF7 Rebirth and Resident Evil 4 about the whole yellow paint thing. I don't even remember Uncharted 2 having any sort of like indicators on where to go. Mind you, I haven't touched the Uncharted games in a long time.
I mean, for me, like, I just recently, I played it last year. Yeah, so, like, all the Uncharted games, I guess, have, like, the yellow paint to, like, kind of guide you on, like, where to climb the walls and, like, do your parkour stuff to get to, like, I guess, a certain point in the story and then continue the story because, like, for someone that's not like using any guides, like these yellow paints pretty much, I guess, guide my path on where to go. So yeah, it was an Uncharted.
Also, it was actually literally yellow paint in Uncharted.
It wasn't like yellow paint. It was more so like if it was gravel, there would be like scratches on the gravel, kind of being like, oh, okay, this is where you can go.
Here's the interesting one for you guys. Mirror's Edge.
Yes, I was gonna say that is a game that did it very tastefully.
See, that's almost like actual like art direction turning into guidance, though, right? That's you don't even see that today. Oh man. Yeah, like every goddamn image is just Resident Evil or Final Fantasy.
Are they the worst offenders?
I think it's
I guess they are.
I think it's because it doesn't make sense for their worlds, right? Like for Final Fantasy 7, it's like, why is there yellow paint on a random wall out in the open world? Like for you, just so you know where to climb, like that doesn't need to be a thing. And it's like
could be chocobo feathers.
Yeah, right. They could, but see, that's the thing. They could have done something subtle like that. It could have been like, oh, here's some live stream shit instead you can follow, right? Or chocobo feathers. But no, they're like, no, yellow paint. They totally use yellow paint in this one area of freaking what's the place called? Oh no.
Yellow?
Oh no, hold on. Oh no, Oh no.
Fake fan.
Oh no, fake fanity. Gongaga. There we go. For some reason I thought there was like an extra part to it and I was like forgetting and didn't want to completely obliterate myself there. Oh man. Yeah, no, the yellow paint stuff, like I think it's here to stay. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I just think it's going to be much more about the developers working it into the actual aesthetic of the game. Like, you know, Elden Ring does it sort of fine, right? Where it's like,
it's pretty subtle with Elden Ring.
It's like you go to the I forgot what are they called, the sites of grace. There we
Graces?
go. Yeah, go to the site of grace, and then you have that faint path that kind of just points you in a direction. It doesn't tell you how to get through a portion of a level. It's just like,
yeah,
here's where you should probably head to find something. And you know, I was playing through like Outer Worlds 2 recently. That game doesn't give you much like yellow paint direction, but at the same time it's open world but feels like super linear, right? So it's like it doesn't really need it. Oh, man, I don't know. I hate when it's bad and I love it when it's good.
Oh yeah, for sure. It all depends on the implementation, right?
Yeah.
Like what the saying, how the saying goes, the poison is in the dosage or something like that, right? It really depends.
Yeah. I don't know, James. Is there any yellow paint games that have stood out to you as being either really good or really bad that you've experienced in some manner recently?
Oh, Ghost of Yote, for sure. It's mostly in the middle, but going towards good, right? So, what we see a lot in Ghost of Yote, I'm pretty sure you remember this, Alex, is the bird poop.
Yes. And see, that one, like, that at least makes a little bit of sense, where it's like, oh yeah, the birds were here, they pooped, so therefore you can kind of climb this area. But I think, why is every rock on that climb up just covered in bird poop, right?
Yeah.
It gets a little excessive.
Yeah, I think making the side of the cliff like craggier than the rest of the cliff would have been enough, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, might have been an accessibility sort of thing, like, you know, for the visually impaired.
This is true.
That's what I assume anyways.
This is true.
Yeah. They do also do a lot of very subtle and very good yellow paint, where they guide you with things that you can pick up. I remember I was searching for one of those shrines, right? I didn't really know where to go. And then I just looked at the ground, right? I was like, oh, okay, there are some these herbs I can pick up, right? So let me just do that. Pick them up. I turned just a little bit, and then the right path was like right there. I was like, oh shoot, that's really nice, right? It was a very sharp kind of turn that I didn't realize at first until I got guided by the herbs that I picked up. That was very subtle, perfect.
Yeah, I can't think of, like, I probably have had a moment where I'm like, oh, this is really good for that like type of guidance. But in my mind, I'm just blanking on any game that has blown me away with guiding me from one place to the next. That was like, that didn't feel like it was a guided path, and it was actually like, you know, proper discovery.
Right. I can give you another example.
White paint.
But what in Expedition 33 was like that?
Yeah. Okay. So Expedition 33 was not quite an open world, right? It just had these levels with different paths, right? And at times,
oh, James, we lost your audio.
Oh,
there we go. I think it's back. There we go. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Expedition 33.
Yes.
Not open world, but it had these levels where you could take different paths, right? There was always one quote-unquote correct path, right, that you could take to advance the story or the level, right? The other paths were just for secrets, optional shenanigans, right? And the best way to tell those two paths apart from each other, if you paid attention, was the lighting. The optional paths were either not lit up or they were very dimly lit up. The correct paths had very distinct warm lighting, right? Which also goes in theme with clair obscure.
You know what? I'm trying to remember. I don't think I noticed that at all.
Me neither.
Huh.
It is subtle.
I think for me, I just have my screen brightness maxed out, so I probably didn't notice the difference between dim lighting and
yeah, that would definitely be a way to ruin it. It's just changing your settings completely. Oh my god.
Yeah, some other games. Expedition 33, it wasn't like the only one who did that kind of stuff, right? Some other games like Half-Life 2 did it, for example.
Yes, I do remember Half-Life 2 doing that as well. Man, yeah, I don't know. It's when you really like look into it, like the yellow paint fiasco, we'll call it. It just goes back far enough into gaming history where I think it's just the fact that now we have, you know, graphics that are good enough. And where now the emphasis is no longer on like how much of the pores can you see on the character. It's now your art direction that matters the most, right? Because like, oh man, a lot of the games coming out now, they look all the same. It's all blurred. You know, you're, man, the and not to harp on the you know the entire movement that we're having with, you know, like the Chinese mythology games that, you know, Black Myth Wukong seem to really push into the global scale. But it's like, you see Black Myth Wukong, you see Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, you see Where Winds Meet, right? It's like all of them start really blurring together the same way that when you see like Neo and you see Dynasty Warriors, mind you, they're done both by Koei Tecmo, so but you see those two games and it's like, oh yeah, this is how like this representation of like feudal Japan just happens to look all the time. And it's not until you get a game or a couple of games that really push the aesthetic while still being the same regional, you know, era mythos, that it really starts to stand out. You know, and kind of like how, you know, my most anticipated game this year, like Phantom Blade Zero, like that game does not look like it has anything to do really with either, you know, Chinese culture or I think because it's being made by a Chinese company, right? Yeah, so like to me, it's like, oh, this game just looks like some sick Asian action game. But it's just because the aesthetic is pushed in such a way that I don't notice it. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Art direction matters.
Again, as we look at the Expedition 33 poster right behind you, art direction matters. Speaking of art direction, did you guys see the Fable like developer video blowout thing that they had like a week or two ago, where they showed off the gameplay? They announced it's going to be day one on PS5 as well as Xbox and PC. Like Fable was a game. I remember playing the original Fable, and like it had a look to it. Even with Fable 2, it had a look. Fable 3 got a little murky, but still looked like Fable.
That's the only one I played.
I look at this. I'm like, this doesn't look like Fable. Right.
I know what you mean. It looks a lot closer to Fable 3.
It looks closer to Fable 3.
But yeah, not quite Fable 1. Yeah.
But also doesn't look like a Fable game at all. Right? It's like it has the you know the nuances that make it Fable, but it's just, it doesn't look like it. The same way how like I had the example in my head. Oh no, it's gone. It's completely gone.
Okay, we can cut.
We can cut. Just cut.
Yeah.
No, but it's like when you have a series that's been, you know, here's the example, right? Mass Effect Andromeda, as awful as it is, still looks like Mass Effect, right?
Fair, yeah.
Now, mind you, there's more of a gap in time between Fable 3 and Fable 4. But it's like the art direction has shifted quite a bit, and you know, it leans into that realism space, right? Where the characters are supposed to look like living, breathing people, but Fable was almost like cartoony. Like I'm trying to like think of like any other game that's really done that much of a shift.
What about Dragon's Dogma?
I mean, Dragon's Dogma 1 and 2 look very similar. right? Actually, you know what? Like Monster Hunter, that's kind of an example of like where it works, right? Because if you look at the original Monster Hunter, like PS2, PSP, 3DS era, and then you look at World and Wilds, it's like they look completely different, but you can tell it's Monster Hunter because the framework, the aesthetic is still there, right? I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that Japanese developers have a better understanding of maintaining nostalgia, right? Like, I don't know, it's just, oh god, we can go about on with aesthetic for too long. Anyways, are you guys going to play Fable when it comes out, the new one?
Probably.
I will. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
The only one I've played is Fable 3. So
I mean, you can get the anniversary edition of the first Fable game for pretty cheap on Steam most of the time, or even the Xbox store on PC.
I don't have a PC.
What? I mean, Fable 1's not, but it's not intensive at all. Fable 1 you can run on like a potato.
I'm still running Windows 10.
It's Fable 1. It's an original Xbox game. Like, what?
I'll see if my PC.
Or was it 360?
Can handle it.
Oh no, was it 360?
I think it was 360.
Fable.
Right.
Was it 360?
Probably.
This box art will tell me original Xbox. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Guy, you can run that on any computer.
Okay.
Today.
I'm just having. I'll check it out.
All right, James, what we got next?
Yeah. Keeping it a little bit in line to aesthetics. There were some visually interesting games feature in the latest Nintendo Direct.
Oh yes.
You guys watch it?
I didn't watch the Direct. No.
Oh man, you had homework to do and you didn't do it. God damn it, Kavi.
I mean, Nintendo.
Oh boy. I even made like some notes.
Nintendo.
Okay, well, we'll handle this section. Jesus Christ, this is why you're a guest star, Kavi.
Still a star though. Still a star,
but the guest is emphasized. I mean, overall, I think there was nothing that we hadn't. There was nothing really new that we saw with that Nintendo Direct, right? The partnership Direct for Switch 2 and Switch. But I am impressed with the games they are getting to run on Switch 2. Mm-hmm. And it feels like Nintendo has caught up. They're not still at the highest peak that it could be. They're not hitting like the visual benchmarks that other games are, or I should say other companies are hitting. But the fact that you're getting Resident Evil 9, FF7 Rebirth, Pragmata, right? You're getting like the games that are pushing a strong level of visual graphics and aesthetic, and having them run well on the Switch 2 is a feat, right? It's kind of the same way how with the original Switch, the fact that Witcher 3, even though it doesn't look great, it runs very well on the Switch original.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same with things like Doom.
Yeah,
Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I mean, some of these developers, they just know how to code. So, they're not using the AI assistants to code their games. But no, I thought the Direct was a 6 out of 10. There wasn't really anything that I saw that excited me that I didn't already know about. I think the biggest disappointment was the fact that Dusk Bloods is still a no-show. The spiritual successor to Bloodborne is still nowhere to be seen after that one announcement. And it's like either they're either having difficulty making it work with the Switch, or they're running into, I feel like, some sort of like developmental like wall, because it's been like 2 years, almost 2 years. No, 1 year. That's blood. Like, yeah. It's been a little bit over a year, I'm guessing. I don't know, time since the announcement. And I don't want it to be another Metroid Prime 4 where they announce it and then the console's basically dead ends on the next one.
Well, sometimes no news is good news, right? I originally bought the Switch for Shin Megami Tensei 5. And that took its sweet time to come out, like I think 5+ years since its first announcement, right? And it turned out a pretty decent game. Very hard, but pretty decent game. I guess we'll see.
Yeah. But what did you think about the Direct overall, James? Was there anything on there that like makes you want to play it on Switch too, or Switch?
Right. Yeah. So I do have a few notes right here that I made while watching the trailer, the video. The first game that they showed, Orbitals, looks super cool.
Yes. Okay, I think that was the one game where I was like, at first I was confused. Was it going to be like a Studio Ghibli style, like Telltale game? But then when they showed actual gameplay, and it was very reminiscent of holy shit, there's this one. Not just It Takes Two, but there's a PS3 game, which to my knowledge is still like one of the first games to do this sort of thing. Time and Eternity. Time and Eternity did a thing where it's not a good game at all. Actual shit gameplay. But it uses 2D characters in a 3D space. It's Time and Eternity, right, James? I see you looking it up.
Yeah, let me see.
I'll put a picture on the screen for people watching at home of the game, if I'm correct.
Oh, that's never played this game.
Time and see, now I gotta type out myself. And Eternity, yes, it is Time and Eternity, yeah. But it's like you're literally playing a 2D character, but it's a 3D, almost Tales-like world. And that's still, to my knowledge, one of the first games to do that sort of style. Super niche game. Never beat it. Pretty sure I traded it in after like giving it a solid week. But
that's fair.
Yeah, no, that Orbitals game, like, it reminded me of the fact that like there's developers out there who are still pushing art for games, or like games as art, I should say. And I mean, will I play this game? Probably not. But the audience who does will be blown away. I know.
Yeah, I will definitely give this a try. It looks like It Takes Two with Bubblegum Crisis, sort of 80s sci-fi anime visuals. So definitely interesting. Yeah. And also following up with what you said earlier about the Switch's performance, I am very surprised that obviously Final Fantasy and Resident Evil are there, but Valheim is also being ported for the Switch too. So I do remember, I don't know if it's still true, but I remember close to the launch of that game on Steam that that it was not very well optimized. It ran very, very badly when you had, for example, a lot of torches in your base, things like that. Yes, I'm wondering how it's gonna run on the Switch.
Well, I mean, there's only one way to find out, and it's until the game is out, right? Like, you don't want it being, you know, a similar situation where, like, you know, even like original FF14, where every single thing is rendered in such detail that the game can't keep up with itself. So I feel like the Switch 2, I mean, most developers now have had enough time with the original Switch. They know what works, what doesn't work. And then with Switch 2, it just seems like they're optimizing as best they can, especially for the things that are ports. Yeah, because, like, I don't know, when I'm like looking at the list of stuff, nothing stands out to me that it's like, oh, I could see this being a problem on the Switch 2. It all seems like it's just going to work. Similar to like how, you know, like Steam does like their Steam Deck verified thing. I feel like, again, without our resident, you know, game developer Mike being here, I don't know if they have a similar process with Nintendo of like making sure it's optimized. But then I also see all the shovelware on the eShop, and I'm like, there's no way they do.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, there's also that Adventures of Elliot game.
Yes, not Octopath Traveler.
It is being led by the same guy though.
Oh, no wonder. No wonder, guy. When I saw that, I was like, oh, they're announcing another Octopath? That's crazy. Didn't one just come out? And no, it's something completely different. Okay.
Yeah, Square is really pushing this HD 2D.
Is it Square also? Style. Is it Square that's doing the Elliot game?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god, letters, please.
They've also been doing the Dragon Quest remakes, right, into that same style.
Yes, this is true. Elliot. It is Square Enix. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I think. Oh man, I don't know. I feel like they're tapping too much into it. While it is, like, you know, visually appealing, I think people are going to get tired of it at some point.
Right.
If it wasn't for the fact that, like, the Octopath games, number 1 was good. Number 2, I heard, was a little bit worse. Apparently 0 is amazing. Like, a lot of people are like swearing by the fact that it's like one of the best old school style RPGs that has come out in recent history. And it kind of just got like under the rug. No one cares about it. But I see a lot of like huge like JRPG fans and people who cover RPGs who are just saying that like this is the game everyone should try. It has me, you know, wishlisting the game for when it goes on sale. And when I find 100 hours to pour into an RPG. It's like, man, dude, there's not enough time.
Hey man, that's where the Switch comes in. You can just play it on the go.
Okay. So first of all, for our folks at home listening and watching, we live in an urban city. And playing it on the go is not the best idea when commuting. I don't know. I see all the people who are like, oh yeah, I bring my Switch with me and I play on the bus, or they, oh, I bring my Steam Deck with me and I play when I travel, like the airport. I'm like, well, good for you that no one is trying to rob you of your shit. I remember being on the bus with Mad, and there was some guy was literally playing the Switch on the bus, and I'm like, you're lucky this bus is all old people right now, because I'm sure if like some of these you know these teenagers nowadays who think they're impervious to everything, they would just, all it takes is one of them to be really dumb, right? and just ruin your experience forever. Like I find myself like with the Switch, I treat it as a console, right? I kind of wish the Switch 2 was literally the box that we all thought it was going to be, where you put your Switch 1 into it and just makes everything run a million times better rather than a new handheld. But I know they needed to do the whole upgrade as well because competitors literally blew up over the past, decade. And like I find myself using my my Ally X as my actual like portable system, but I'm only using it on the rare chance where I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to do my dailies in Zenless, so I'm going to do them in my bed on my Ally X, or I bring with me when I stay at Matt's house. And it's like I literally just I don't even use it half the time when I'm over there, right? It's just like, oh hey, nothing's really doing. We're just chilling. Sure, I'll play a little bit of something, right? But I still find myself doing most of my gaming either on console or PC. Soon to be both when the new Steam machine comes out.
Oh man, that would have been a perfect segue.
Too bad we're still doing Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, you mentioned Octopath Zero, which was originally a gacha game.
Oh, that's the gacha one? Oh shit, I didn't realize that was a gacha one. Okay.
It was Champions of the Continent, I think it was called.
Huh.
And funny thing is that in this Nintendo Direct, there's another one of those. It's Another Eden Begins.
Oh yes.
The offline version of a gacha game.
Oh man, that's the one that's done by the original FF creator, right?
Yeah. It's interesting. Do you guys think we are gonna see this being a trend?
I mean,
offline gachas.
Yeah. I don't know. There's one. I don't see it being a forever trend, but I do see it being kind of like a end of life sort of thing for some companies, right? Like, for example, I think it would be really smart for Hoyoverse when they eventually take Genshin Impact offline, right? Because you can't sustain a game forever. We know this is a thing, unless you're World of Warcraft, right? And you have like,
oh boy,
all that stuff. But I mean, mind you, it's it's Hoyo is a Chinese company. They're one of the few Chinese companies who are super successful in the gaming sphere right now. And even though they started by ripping off other games, they turned it into their own thing, and now other companies are ripping them off, right? But let's say in like 4 years time, I think it would be smart for them to do a like, oh, Genshin Impact, we're done, we're no longer updating the game, the story's done, thank you for playing. Oh, by the way, we're now making the game offline, so you can do all the story, right? You have access to all the characters. The only gameplay loop at that point is just upgrading the characters and doing the story, and maybe like the challenges are within the world. I could see them doing it just to like maybe try to earn a last little bit of money. Maybe that's a mode you have to pay for, right? Maybe it's a separate game if they really want to be like that crazy. But I don't see like, do you see Fire Emblem Heroes, Mr. Fire Emblem Heroes? Do you see that becoming an offline game?
I really, really don't think so. Yeah, mainly because yeah, I don't know how you'll go around the summoning gacha aspect, right? With Octopath, it's simple. You find these gacha characters like spread around the world, right? simple, makes sense. Fire Emblem, I don't know how they'll work.
Could you not?
That's like
okay, so could you not? So the game has a story, right? Yeah, Fire Emblem Heroes has a story.
Yeah.
Could it not be something simple where it's like after you beat a story mission, a main story mission, you then get a decent chance at one of these random characters just showing up. Then you have to do a small mini battle to get them. And then you have a bunch of like free battles that you can, quote unquote, grind for your experience for your characters that you have, plus also the chance of getting a gacha character. Like, I feel like there's a way for it to work. I just don't see Nintendo greenlighting that.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. That'll be way too much money for them.
But there's that one Nintendo gacha game that I played for a bit. What was it? Dragalia Lost? Was that what it was called?
Lost, yeah.
Like, that was a fun game. Nintendo just said, no, we're done. And it's like gone under the rug. Will it come back?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Nah.
And
a Switch game,
right? It could, right? Like, it's definitely an untapped sphere where taking these free-to-play games and that are, persistently online, even though they're technically single-player games for the most part for most people, and finding a way to turn them into forever experiences with, some sort of paywall to, get into at first. Like, it's definitely untapped, but because of the way, the gacha circles go, and kind of like the expectation that a lot of people have with these games, I don't see it happening because it's, the developers are always chasing the dollar. And if your game is not succeeding, it shuts down within 2 years. And usually you don't have the funding to then turn it into a standalone game. I think Square Enix is just lucky that there's a fan base who wanted to play the mobile game, but they didn't. So they then turned it into a full, normal game. Like, one of the longest running gacha games is Fate Grand Order. I used to be really into it. I used to be a huge Fate series fan. But I don't see, like, and I've wanted, the Fate series to do more single player games, but all we've gotten is a weird PSP/PS Vita line of rock, paper, scissors RPGs, or a weird Dynasty Warriors style ripoff, but no actual, like, proper RPG or character action game which could do the series, a great, service. Whereas you have other gacha games like the Grand Blue series, where, they had their gacha game, did super crazy well over in Asia, never really had a global release. If you wanted to play the game, you had to download, a file not from your region of the App Store. And then if you wanted to pay to buy characters or whatever, you had to use a actual website to do that. But then they've now made a fighting game and two action RPGs for Grand Blue. One of them was in that Switch Direct, right?
Yep.
Like they've turned the franchise into multiple styles of games while the gacha wanes. I don't see enough companies doing that. I don't think it's going to catch on.
Yeah, it really takes a special kind of gacha to be able to translate well into single player.
Is it like you either live long enough? Sorry, what is it? It's either you die a good game or you live long enough to turn into a gacha? then now the opposite. You either die a good gacha, you live long enough to turn into a normal game because you need more money. Like,
oh man.
Like shit, is that not what Pokemon is basically doing? Where it's like the Pokemon series just, for, again, Pokemon can do no wrong because it's for everybody, but everyone wants like a actual proper, fully fledged, like actual, in-depth game that has something for everybody and not just geared literally towards children. Because let's face it, most people who are buying Pokemon are in our age group. It's not kids, right? It's the people who grew up with Pokemon.
Just bring back Coliseum.
You know what? I don't think Coliseum's going to do it because aren't they working on like some sort of like Pokemon like battler gacha game? I swear they were. Where it was like Coliseum. I swear they were.
They tried, but because they had that sleeping one. No, like, was it a sleeping one? Or it was like puzzle cubes, and then they also had they have like the trading card one. Where there was one more. I'm not sure if it was a Coliseum though.
I'm gonna look this shit up now. Now I'm like, yo, I swear there was something. Oh my god.
Or it's probably one of those rip-off games. Or maybe it's Digimon.
Maybe it's Digimon.
And they are getting a Switch port.
Pokemon Champions. That's what it is.
Oh, was that a Coliseum?
It literally looks like, Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Comes out this year, apparently.
Interesting.
Because I know what the Switch 2 should be. I mean, does the Switch 2 have the GameCube port yet, or is that coming soon?
I don't know. And I don't have my Switch 2 on me, so I can't check for you right now, aside from this good old internet. Everything says no so far. It says they are going to be coming to the Switch expansion pack, but yeah. Let's see. It's one of those things where it's like, do you really think that like, I don't think we need, as much as I love the idea of Pokemon gacha games and how much money Nintendo is making off of the current ones, as well as ones that will be there in the future, because people are not smart with their money. Like, what's the one that Kaz plays a lot? Pokemon Masters, right? That game, it's not really done by Game Freak. It's a third-party company that makes it. It has much better animations than anything Game Freak has done. Right? It has actual voice acting in it as well for some characters, which Nintendo would never greenlight for a main game. But I don't see a full-on Nintendo-made or Nintendo-like okayed. I mean, it is Nintendo okayed, but I don't see them doing it very often, where they're going to put in effort to change Pokemon from being what is currently with, Scarlet and Violet and ZA, and making it, like, it's not going to have its God of War moment. Right? For lack of better
wasn't
words.
Arceus that? Wasn't Legends Arceus their God of War moment?
It almost was. It almost was, but they still don't have voice acting. And then they went back 5 steps with all the other games that came out since then, right?
Right.
Like it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I'm ranting about Pokemon now. It makes no goddamn sense. We know the leak that, you know, there are more Pokemon games coming out. I'm not going to say the names of them just in case. But if they don't push the envelope more than Scarlet and Violet did, it's like, why are we just treading water with a franchise that needs to actually step up? Goddamn Power World is getting a card game. Like, Digimon, their latest game blows the last couple Pokemon games out of the water. And it's purely the brand and just like kind of like the news that is carrying Pokemon at this point, right? Oh my god! Enough about Pokemon. Let's get away from this. What was the next game on the trailer list?
Oh boy, yeah. All right. No more Pokemon.
It was Pokemon.
Oh boy. Do you guys care about Star Trek at all? That Across the Unknown game, it's kind of cool.
Guy,
I played the crap out of Fallout Shelter. You guys remember that?
yes, I do remember playing it for like a month.
Yeah, hey.
I remember it.
I just feel like the Star Trek IP doesn't lend itself well to games. At least not in a way where people like, because the games I get asked all the time to, because you know you sign up for these things. I'm constantly asked to sponsor the Star Trek like tactics game that's on mobile. And I'm like, man, nobody's gonna play this shit.
You could be the first one.
But it's like the diehard Star Trek fans want essentially a Civilization, you know, style game for Star Trek. They don't want, you know, they don't want or even like maybe like a Telltale style game, right? Where it's about the politics, it's about science and research. And nothing I've seen yet is really doing that. Even this new one, I'm like, it's not quite there.
No, yeah, of course not. They could do No Man's Sky style sort of game.
But then No Man's Sky exists. But No Man's Sky exists.
I know. Yeah, they kind of missed the opportunity. But hey, I don't know. Maybe if they do release it, maybe it'll do well. Who knows? Because Star Trek is like the franchise to go for that kind of style of game, I think.
It is, but I just don't think the people who care about it, they're already playing No Man's Sky, right? If they are playing video games, or they're just watching reruns of Next Generation and Voyager and Deep Space Nine, you know, and they're just enjoying that. They're enjoying the Lego set, right? Like I don't think there is. It's not like Star Wars, where Star Wars is like, you know, was built upon a very easy to put into a video game media. Because it's like, think about it, like the Star Wars games have existed for so long, and you know they've had, you know, various levels of success, but you've seen so many styles. There's been arcade rail shooters, there's a Metroidvania style game, there's a fighting game, there's, you know, Souls-like games, there is normal action adventure games for Star Wars, there's a racing game. Hell, you know, you even got a Lego game. Not for Star Trek. That IP just does not translate to games as well as people hope.
A StarCraft style game work for Star Trek?
So there was at least one, if my memory serves correctly.
Right.
And
yeah, like all right.
Yeah, and I remember it being just okay. And I think part of the reason why it's just okay is when you think about like Star Wars, right? We're gonna get into this debate now. Star Wars versus Star Trek.
Oh boy.
When you get into Star Wars, people think about going to a convention, right? And you see people dressed up as Obi-Wan, as Anakin, as Darth Vader, right? But then where the real creativity comes from is the people who dress up as, a random stormtrooper, but they design their own colors, a Mandalorian with their own color scheme. They they have their OC Jedi or Sith, but it looks like it fits into the narrative of Star Wars. And it's because they do the whole, like, it's the galaxy far, far away, and with an ever-growing sphere for that galaxy. The problem with Star Trek is that even though it is a larger, universe, it's much more narrow in what you can do. Right? You're either a human, or maybe, human adjacent alien who happens to be friendly at the time, who is, on the Enterprise or one of the, sister ships of the Enterprise. So you have a very default color scheme and thing that you can do. You're either wearing blue, you're wearing yellow, or you're wearing red. Right? Or you're a Klingon and you have the exact same little, like, forehead thing they got going on, and you're wearing black and silver. Right? Like, there's all the stories of Star Trek are focus so much on the social narrative and the politics that you can't grow out of that in terms of, like, creativity. So if you want to design a game for them, it has to be in that same sort of space, and it's like Civilization's like the only thing that does that, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, you won a Civilization round because you were the first to reach a certain science goal. You can do that with Star Trek.
Right.
But I don't see Uncharted Star Trek, right? But there is Uncharted Star Wars.
Right.
I don't know. Star Trek Uncharted can work with the Captain Kirk sort of era.
Okay. Yes. If you gave me a story where, like, it's Captain Kirk stranded on a planet, and he has to, like, fight his way out of it. Yeah, I could see that. But the other part of Star Trek is the whole aspect where it's like, you're not supposed to get into conflict. Because it's supposed to be science.
He's got to be like Witcher.
Yeah, but Star Trek's not as cool. Oh shit!
All right, fine.
He just has a laser gun, walking around shooting things.
It's not a laser gun. It's basically a glorified taser. Oh my god.
Oh, actually, there was this Star Trek first-person shooter, I think in the early 2000s.
It's based off the movie.
Star Trek Voyager Elite Force. Oh my god, this looks almost as bad as Star Wars, what was it, Dark something? Star Wars Dark Forces. Oh yeah, it's the same thing. I'm gonna put an image of both right beside each other for everyone to see, and it's basically the same thing. Dark Forces is definitely older.
See, I just started watching Star Trek.
See, and that's the thing, right? Like, as a audio media, or as a movie/TV media, or even as books, Star Trek is fantastic, right? Especially if you are somebody who is, a optimist and loves the idea that humans will come together to be able to do this spacefaring, hope-filled research. It just doesn't translate to a game. I don't think, not at least the style that people are trying to make right now.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess you're not gonna give Across the Unknown a try.
No.
Okay.
Unless the developers came to me right now, we're like, hey, we'll pay you a couple $1,000s to play this game. And I'll be like, hey, yeah, sure. Again, I'm a very easy sell. But goddamn.
All right. Speaking of easy sells,
Oh boy.
have you guys heard of this thing called the Steam Machine?
Of course.
My hopes and dreams in a $1,000+ console.
It'll be more expensive because of RAM shortage.
Maybe. People are hoping that that's not gonna be the case, because I assume that these machines, the actual hardware is already assembled, right? And it's ready to ship.
Hopefully.
I'm just waiting for them to drop the Canadian price, because
Yeah, me too.
like I would love to have, my ideal setup, like most streamers, is you have your PC that you play on, and then you have your render farm PC, right? I only have my one PC, and I got stuck with the worst version of the 3090. Unfortunately, it's still good, it still runs, it just makes a ton of noise, and I hate it. So I would love for this to become my render PC and have the Steam Machine do all the things I need to do for gaming. Because to me, it's like, all the indie games that I want to play, all the PC games I want to play with mods, right? I would love to do more like I did with the OG Resident Evil 4, where I played the randomizer on stream before we played the new Resident Evil 4. Like, I would love to do that with more games. It's just that I'm so worried that my current PC will not like that. Whereas the Steam Machine, it's like, I feel like if it's, built more towards just being a dedicated, gaming PC for me, solves all my issues. Plus, you can customize the front of it and make it look cool.
Yeah, that's a big selling point. Actually, you know what? I think we're jumping the gun a little bit. Alex, there might be that one person in the audience who doesn't know what the hell a Steam Machine is.
Oh boy. Well, there'll be an image on the screen for them right now. But the Steam Machine, the history of it, Valve tried years ago to make, console gaming a thing for them. Along with a shitty controller that some people really liked, some people did not. I remember us selling at least the controller in store for a while.
We also a Steam Deck.
We did, yeah. Okay, I think we did.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it just never caught on because I think the technology wasn't there, and I think the audience wasn't there. But now here we are, 2026, and Valve is trying again. But this time, it looks like it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that they proved that there's a market for this kind of thing with the Steam Deck, right? So they want to take it a step further.
Yeah, I think it's the uprise in PC gaming for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely the fact that the portable Steam Deck plus all the iterations of portable PCs that are dedicated for gaming. plus you have the the rise in just normal PC gaming because people have less money, so they're gravitating more towards a thing that'll last a little bit longer, giving a little bit more mileage. And PC will always be that, except for when your PC craps out on you. And so we just come to a point where this is now a thing that Valve wants to try again. And
it's also exclusivity, because now even PlayStation games are available on PC as well.
Yeah,
now.
Exactly. Right. The console wars are done. Right. Nintendo is still doing its own Nintendo thing, but they left the console war region. They picked up all the toys and they went somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Sony came in with a hammer and just smacked the hell out of Xbox and Microsoft, and forced them to literally kneel. Halo is on Xbox, or sorry, Halo is on PlayStation. That was the one thing. That was the one thing they were like, Halo's never coming to PlayStation, never going to happen, and it happened. Right?
Yeah, here we are.
Right? Again, like we were saying earlier, Fable, another big Microsoft property. Day one PS5. Right? Does it hurt me physically when I was booting up Outer Worlds 2 and it said Xbox on my PlayStation? It hurt a little bit, but it's Microsoft and Xbox could not survive because their hardware was just not wanted. The people want to play Forza, people want to play Gears of War, they want to play Halo, and all these other games that they own. They just don't want to do it on Xbox. They'll do it on PC, and that's why Game Pass for PC and all that stuff that worked. And now it's the point of hey, we need to do it on PlayStation because our console did not sell, and we have untapped potential over there. With the Steam machine, that's where you're now going to see Sony start having to up their shit a little bit, right? PlayStation 6, I think, is still probably, if I had to guess, maybe another 4 years away, because we've had PS5s for 6 years now, almost 6 years. Mm-hmm. And or maybe a little more than 6 years, but
it's 6 years for PS5 and then a year for the Pro.
Yeah.
So
I feel like the PS6 will be only a slight upgrade from the PS5 Pro. It'll still be substantial enough that there'll be games that can only run on the PS6, but I don't they have to compete in a way now where you need to worry about the handheld market more than you did back when PSP and DS were trying to fight each other, because you have mobile games that are looking better and better and better, and phones that are getting better and better and better at running them. Plus the rise of the mobile gaming PC. Valve is being smart because now they have they're developing the ecosystem that Microsoft wanted to do with the Xbox Series and Xbox One before that, where it's okay, I can play on my Steam Deck, do the cloud save, and just pick it up on my Steam machine and keep playing, or then I go to my desktop computer and keep playing the same game and keep that that progress going no matter where I am, right? It's it's doing what Nintendo has been doing with the Switch, but now you don't have the shitty console part of it, where it's you now have something that's going to run these games properly. I think Sony will have to do some sort of handheld console, right? The Portal is that stepping stone where they've had to update it to make it actually work the way consumers wanted it to work, not the way Sony wanted it to work. Because initially it was you had to have a constant connection to the console through internet to stream the game to the Portal. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, But now it is, you can, as long as you ping the server occasionally, you can pretty much play most of your games just on the portal wherever. If I remember reading correct. I still think it's a waste of money, but yeah.
Yeah, right. And from what I've heard from users, is that the portal takes significant blow in graphical quality when you stream your games.
Which makes
Some
sense.
people don't care. Yeah, makes sense. Some people don't care, but you know, the average PS5 user does care about having nice graphics, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know. I think Valve, I think they're just creating a player in the market with the Steam machine that will fill the void for people like me who want a dedicated gaming PC, don't want to have to worry about buying parts and building their own, even though that's still probably the best way to do it. But having something in stock that you can buy that will be able to do all the things that a modern PC can for about the price of building it yourself, if not lower, considering the prices of some of the parts now.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a win. It seems like it's going to do well.
Yeah, I think it will depend a big part on the pricing, for sure.
Yeah.
But Alex, since you are actually probably the main audience for the Steam machine, let me ask you this. What is making you consider getting a Steam machine versus buying another pre-built computer?
I think part of it is I definitely got very burnt with my first PC purchase, right? And just kind of being priced out thanks to AI of, you know, upgrading the PC properly and not, you know, doing more detriment to, you know, credit card and stuff like that. I just like I'm you know, call me old school at this point, right? I like it when you buy a thing and it just works out of the box and you don't have to do the customization you can do afterwards, right? Like the fact that you can, you know, you can go out and you can buy an old console. It will work just the way it did before, but you can customize the hell out of it now. The parts exist, you know, all the software exists where you can do these things. But the point is that you buy just the stock item and it works as intended, right? And I think that is the most appealing thing. Again, next to the whole, like, being able to play, you know, all the games, all the older games that I want to play with mods and with, you know, without the worry of my machine blowing up on me. I think $1,000 solves that.
Fair. Yes, I guess the big difference for you between a random pre-built PC and a Steam machine is, I guess, the company behind it, right?
Yes, and you know, Steam and Valve have proven themselves to be very consumer friendly, right? Like you read all the articles about people who have had issues with their Steam Decks, and Valve is super willing to solve them, right? Like it's because they've there's a reason why they're the main, you know, PC gaming store, right? And you hear all the developers and other places, like, you know, crying like, oh, Valve's not fair because they have, you know, 40% of the market or whatever. And it's like, yeah, because they've proven that they handle their customers the best.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, will I buy a Steam machine day one? No, I won't. It's not crazy. I'll wait for people to do some reviews. I'll I'll wait for, you know, a second batch that has any fixes that need to be done. But I'm like 80% going to buy one, unless it's like, you know, astronomical levels of expensive, where it's like it'll be hard for me to justify. Like if we're going over
1.5.
You see, yeah, I think that's where I start really considering, like, is it worth it? Because for my intended purpose, right, where it is, you know, it is going to be for the stream, and, you know, I'll be making use of it constantly, then yes, I could see myself paying that. But if we're talking like, you know, anything higher, not including tax, don't know. At that point, I'd rather just upgrade my PlayStation 5 from the base model to the PS5 Pro and call it a day.
True. Yeah, I guess it all depends on the price. That's the only and last question we have right now.
Yep.
Are you interested in getting a Steam Machine, Kavi, at all?
I mean, the fact that I don't have a PC, yeah, because I do need some sort of PC gaming console machine, because I could build my own PC, but with the way the RAM prices are right now, like building PCs is not the way to go. And buying pre-built, same thing. Like looking at the prices of pre-built right now, I'm like I can buy without the RAM and just buy the RAM later when it's cheaper, but it's no point in getting a pre-built right now without a RAM if I can't use it. So if the Steam machine is out, then yeah, I mean, and if it works like from purchase, then yeah, I would probably get it.
Yeah, let me pull up a price really quickly, and we'll do this as basic as possible. Say I'm the most casual person out there. I want to buy a pre-built PC. Of course, it's going to be Best Buy, right? I'm not doing any research into buying from Canada Computers or, you know, iBuyPower, NZXT, none of these places. No, I'm going to go to Best Buy because that is the most basic bitch thing to do.
Basic.
So
it's like $700-800.
Gaming desktop PC. Let's do Intel processor. In stock. Yeah, you are looking between, if you want something that's quality, decent quality, with a 3050 at lowest, you're looking at $1,000. Going upwards of like 3,500.
That's for like a 5070?
That's for 5070 with all the other specs and stuff. And you know what, that's also the one thing about PC gaming that, you know, the Steam machine sort of solves, right? Because you'll have developers who want to make sure their games run on the Steam machine, right? Yep. So you will now have you'll have a checkpoint where it's like, hey, our game runs at 60 frames per second, you know, 1080p at least on this console, and still has a decent visual fidelity because aesthetic and art direction. That will work for a ton of people, right? Not everyone needs 4K. I don't even game in 4K, right? I game in 2K, 1440p, baby. Like, but it's like the biggest worry also with, like, you know, when you're upgrading your PC or with PC game in general is like, when do I fall behind, right?
Oh, actually, you know, funny you said that, because Valve didn't just pull random parts out of their ass and call it a day, right? And they didn't do that, right? They said that the specs they built the Steam machine with they pretty much kept in mind all these. I don't know if you've gotten these surveys before. I'm pretty sure you have, Alex. Where Valve asks if they can do a scan of your hardware, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So they have that data from like hundreds of thousands of gamers, right, over the years, right? And they looked at that. They said, okay, so the average gamer has these kind of parts, right? How about we build the Steam machine to have like up to this level of power, right? And they said, well, if we can achieve that, then we will have a pretty big consumer pool.
Yeah, no, that I'm not surprised at that. That makes so much sense. It's like, you know, when I bought this PC, like 4 years ago, a little bit closer to 5 years ago now. Like, again, 3090 was the best thing at the time. You know, and you know, the 40 series came out like the year after or whatever, sure. But then the 40 series sucks, as we somehow know. Or does it suck now? I don't know. Like, it's there's so much like information that you have to dive into on like what can you squeeze out of the GPU, right? You know, do you need the 50 series and all that power? Or can you get away with the 40 series? Can you get away with the 30 series? You can't even buy a lot of 30 series stuff now. You're either on 40 or 50. Like, when I bought this, it was like, I want to say about, you know, I want to say it was around $1,200, $1,300 for this PC when I bought it. If I spent a little bit more today, I could get a 5060 as a stock. That's, you know, that's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, at the same time, if I went and just bought the GPU, I'm also almost spending that price anyway. I don't know, man. PC gaming is, and that's the thing, right? Like, I'm a person, like, I would say I'm generally pretty tech savvy, but I'm also a person where it's like, if it's easy, I will do it. Right? The less I have to worry about, I will absolutely do that. I have upgraded this mic 3 times because I did not want to figure out a specific issue. Right? So that's the type of person I am. So that's why the Steam machine just appeals to me.
I mean, the Steam machine will be a solid win if it could run Crysis.
Crysis, oh my god. The OG benchmark, oh my god.
If it could run that, it's a total win.
Jesus, I think a potato can run Crysis now.
No, that's Doom nowadays.
Yeah, on an actual potato, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get this Steam machine, James?
Not likely, because I am very happy with the gaming PC that I built during COVID. It's been lasting me pretty well. I'm still at 1080p gaming, right? I really have no reason to switch or upgrade. So that's what I'm gonna stick with for the foreseeable future. But I do really want Valve to tempt me with the Steam machine. I really want to see that.
I have an Expedition 33 edition of the Steam machine just for you.
Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Expedition 33 faceplates.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
See, and that's one of those things as well, right? Where it's like, the moment you get customization involved, and especially customization that you can, you know, that you can really push to be not just our official ones, but also third-party ones, you're opening it up to a thing that will definitely sell, right? I'm still shocked that Sony is so backwards with the whole faceplate situation with the PS5.
Right.
where it's like you had the opportunity to do what the 360 did with the customizable faceplates, and how, you know, people went crazy with those for a bit. But you could do it with your whole console, and you just didn't. You could have had super sick limited editions. Didn't. Right? I hate the era of gaming that we're in, where customization of your console is so crap.
Yeah, I think what the last one was the Spider-Man one.
No. Actually, they had a Ghost of Yotei one.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's like,
Yeah.
why is it only like very select games, right? It's literally, you have the mold, right?
Yep.
You can, all you're doing is you're laser etching in whatever design and then spray painting the color, right? Like, it's so easy.
Yep. Or they should have like a website where you can just customize your own and then like print your own and just buy that.
You know what's really crazy about that, Kavi? Xbox does that with their controllers, and those barely sell because no one wants to use an Xbox controller. But if Sony did
Xbox controllers are very solid.
Oh, they are. But then here's the problem, right? I'm gonna show you two problems with that statement. So,
it's because they're not wireless.
No,
or, I mean,
they are wireless. No. It's just that you have third-party ones, right? This one's, I don't know why there's dust on it. I guess it didn't dust today. But you have the 8-bit though, which is, you know, a super good third-party controller that uses multiple consoles, including PC. And then you also have, you know, Nintendo coming out with a super good, you know, controller as well, which you can plug into.
No.
Guy.
No, I can rant about that controller. Don't make me do it.
I've not had any issues with the Pro controller 2 yet, so I'm gonna say it's super good. But the 8-bit though one, at least, this shit's good. But I swear by this controller, when I play any games on my PC that don't require the mouse and keyboard, I'm using this shit. Sponsor me.
I got one of those controllers for free from Amazon to review. They are very solid, especially for their price.
Yeah, like the fact that you have the holy shit, what's it called? Is it the Hall effect? Where they're using the proper joysticks. That's a standard for them. Good battery life too. Shit.
Yep. Base buttons feel great. Triggers, they have the proper resistance.
Why is Microsoft the only one where you have to use two AA batteries still?
So that is still a benefit, right? If you can get yourself an Xbox 360 controller, that is still one of the best controllers for PC, because you can plug it in with USB or use the AA batteries. A lot of people don't realize that, you know, like PS5 controller, right? This shit, if you're lucky, it lasts you without charging like 2 gaming sessions, right? When Matt and I were replaying Resident Evil 5, her controller, she was using the normal PS5 controller. I was using the Victrix super crazy Pro controller that I bought a few years ago. Yeah, that thing that Kavi's holding, yeah. Where the battery life on that is substantially better than normal PS5 controller. Her controller was dying constantly. We had to have it plugged in. And it's just the fact that, like, if you did AA batteries, you could just pop new batteries in right then and there. You're good to go for another 5 days, right? Like,
that's true.
And that's one of the big things I hate about, you know, how I'm thinking about changing all this shit behind me, is that every single thing uses USB. I hate it so much. My power bar only has like 2 USB slots on it, or I have to find a bunch of converters, and it's like, that's too much. Just give me something that has batteries, man, where I can just press a button, turn it on when I'm in here and streaming and stuff, and then turn it off when I'm not using it.
Yeah, like that thing behind me.
What is that? What is that?
I'll send you the Amazon link.
like, or even like puck lights,
Batteries.
right? Like, I was looking into getting like puck lights for the IKEA shelving behind me, and even then, I was like, most of them now are just rechargeable. They're not like actual battery usage. I'm like, this is so dumb. Why did we go backwards and get shittier battery life when it's supposed to be better?
I think we were talking about the steam machine.
anyways, customization. I'll make sure I have an image of it here, but when Valve showed the fact that you can swap the front plate, I was like, oh, that's gonna be really sick. You can get like some super customized stuff. And then I swear I'm going to find out when I look up the images and the videos and do this. But I swear, wasn't it like also ones that like had like lighting on them as well?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it's like that's the type of shit people want, man. People want glowy shit.
Yeah. RGB.
Next thing, all you need to do is get animated ones, and you're set.
Oh man. Think about it. PS5 faceplate that has a screen,
right?
Kind of like some water coolers too.
Right?
Oh man,
that would be so sick. I'm already one of those people who gets targeted ads, and now everyone who's listening to this will get them as well. Where it's the freaking little button, right? It's like the size of like, I want to say it's like the size of the cap of like, you know, of a bottle, but you can put your images and your GIFs onto it. It has a magnetic backing, so you can like clip it onto your clothing or onto like your bags and shit.
Right.
It also has, I think, like a normal like hook as well. I've seen a few that have the hook that you can just like a carabiner, just hook on stuff, so it's a little bit more secure. You just throw on like whatever like bullshit you want. Like, oh, I'm a stan like Mario. I never would, but I'm a stan Mario today, and you know, I'm just gonna have a bunch of different Mario in his different outfits on my shit right now. And the next day I'm wearing a different outfit, I can do something else. That type of thing is popping off now because people love customization, right? And if a third party makes a screen that you just slot into the Steam machine, and it gives you that ability to just, you know, do like why do it on my computer, right? Like, it's funny, people just do it, right? So
it can be also much more practical. Like you can show stats like temp levels.
Yeah.
You know, things like that.
Okay, right? This is why I hate the fact that I can, my brain can handle the ideas. It just can't create anything. You could have, like, imagine if you would, right? I bet you somewhere out there, Sony probably thought of this when we saw that patent for a screen on the touchpad portion of the PS5 controller, where you could have your player stats on there, right? You know, what if you're me? You sit like, you know, an arm's distance away from your computer. You have the Steam machine, which I haven't looked at the specs of like the sizes and stuff, but it looks like it's smaller than a PS5, right?
Yeah.
Are the dimensions up?
It looks wider. I mean, it's a cube, right?
Yeah.
So let's see.
Machine dimensions. Guy, dude, this seems tiny. It is 2 pop figures wide and 1 pop figure tall. Like, come on. 6 by 6 by 6, basically. Okay.
Pop dimensions, man. Like, I can have this shit right beside me. If there's a screen on there that can then show some sort of stats, either just the, you know, normal player stats, your Steam achievement score, or if it's really smart,
You can do some really crazy shit with some developers, and you can have like your in-game stats on there and save that little bit of resource from the UI. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think most people will use something like that for the UI.
Of course not. Of course not.
But I can see games having that kind of mode, right? Like going back to Kosu Yote, right? There's immersive mode, right, where the UI is very minimal.
Yes, yeah.
Right. So some developers can do something like that, right? Have like some kind of immersive, no UI kind of.
Even if it's just like, oh, it flashes certain colors, right? Like the PS5 controller, someone does that, but it's in your hands. You're not looking at it. You're not visually facing the direction. But if this little machine is, next to your monitor, you will see like, oh shit, it's flashing red because I'm sucking ass at this game. Right?
While you're streaming, you just see flashes of red.
Right? Exactly. I don't know. I think there's so much potential for the Steam machine. I'm excited for it. I'm just not ready to be a first user of it unless Valve wants to be real kind and just hook a brother up.
Review.
Just dial that number.
Oh yeah, Valve, they're nailing everything with the Steam machine. First, they have like great customer support. They have really solid specs. Arguably, it's comparable to the PS5 base PS5 specs. Some people.
That's fine.
Yeah, some people don't care, but most people will most likely see an improvement if they improve if they switch their current setup, right? What else? They have customization. Steam OS is actually pretty good,
and you don't even have to use the Steam OS, right? Like that's where I saw. You can use Windows or Linux on it, right?
Yeah, that's part of their customization. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Plus, because it's going to be essentially a PC, you can plug in your other controllers and shit, right? I don't think you want to be forced to use the Steam controller.
Nope.
Yeah,
it's a good old regular Bluetooth, USB, whatever you want.
Guy, you already know. 8-bit though, just put it in there.
Yeah, sponsor that guy. Come on, guys.
Shit.
Come on.
I use the keyboard as well. I bought the Microsoft freaking neon green keyboard as well. Come on. The Xbox green. Shit.
Does it even match the rest of your setup?
It doesn't at all. It doesn't at all. I bought it purely for the fact that it was translucent green, because more technology needs to go back to translucent coloring.
Oh man,
we lost so much when we exited, the prime real estate that was the N64 era and the old, Mac computers that had that background.
Yeah. You know what? You just reminded me. D-Brand makes these translucent plates for the PS5.
See, that's super cool. I've also seen people mod the shit out of old consoles, right, and turn them into translucent as well. Now, mind you, the old consoles I'm running right now are a PS Vita, which most people don't want to touch because of how particular the sliding mechanism is. And I also have a limited edition Final Fantasy DS, which it's like I don't want to touch that either because it's limited edition. It has its printing on it, right? But if I was running a regular one, shit, I would get like a translucent, DS. That sounds sick.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of third party things, there was oh my god, what was the thing that they showed off at, was it CES, where there's this crazy like DSi like third party, usual like emulator device. It's probably running, some version of a Raspberry Pi in it, an Android. Shit, what was it called? I don't know if you guys have seen this thing out in the wild.
I don't think I have.
Here's the image. I'm gonna click. I'm gonna throw the image into our Discord so that you can see what it looks like. The guy's thumbnail is hilarious, but it lets you literally like flip this shit between a DS and a Switch.
Wow! Oh dang!
Right? And this thing looks crazy. Is it going to sell well? Probably not. Is it going to run games super well? Probably not. As I found with my experience on, emulation portable devices. But I mean, the space is there to be filled, and some people really gravitate towards that. It really also makes me think about the fact that, like, I'm shocked that Nintendo still has done nothing with the DS and 3DS library to remotely try to make money off of all the software they're sitting on that doesn't need cartridges anymore. They can just pure eShop it, right? Like, do we see Nintendo releasing? There's a video floating around that some guy made where it's like a second screen that attaches to the Switch 2. Like, do we see Nintendo actually potentially doing that direction?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a huge gamble for them.
But James, all the DS.
I mean, I want it.
All the DS games
yes.
that you would be able to legally get.
I still have this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a Zelda one.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We still have our shit, right? We can still play these games legally. But oh god, man. Okay, now see, I wish okay, hold on. My micro is not with me, but I have a random GBA game here with me. Look at that. Hold on. Get in there. What game is that? Oh. Doesn't want to, but it's Forgotten Realms.
Oh, Warhammer?
Oh,
no, it's a Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance for the Game Boy Advance. Gate. Right? Like shit.
Damn.
I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, I know we're so off topic, but that's another reason why the Steam machine will be great as well. Is emulators.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Without getting into the whole legality of that thing, but there's definitely going to be people who use the Steam machine to make their PS, Xbox, Cube, 360, 64, right?
Like that Chinese woman.
Yeah, like that Chinese woman, exactly. Like, there's going to be people who do that.
What was it? A Chinese woman?
I'm pretty sure it was Chinese. I swear she's Chinese.
It's somewhat Asian woman, yeah.
I swear it was Chinese, but still, like, I expect it. Am I going to be that person? Never. I do want to play Lost Odyssey though, and the only ways to play it right now are pretty slim. So,
no comment.
Right?
Of course you do.
I mean, think about that, right? Like that's such. Oh my god! This is where we're going now with the podcast. It's no longer about Steam Machine. It's not about the legacy of games and trying to preserve them. Why is it so difficult for developers to just republish their games? Don't even worry about optimizing, right? It's like,
no, do worry about optimizing, please.
Worry about it. But it's like, you have the ability now to take And I guess maybe it's just the fact they don't want to put the effort in. They want to chase that high of whatever next failed 3 versus 3 shooter they want to do instead. But it's like you have, like, you know, Microsoft, for example, all these original first party games from original Xbox and 360 era that would do well today, especially because people are wanting to look backwards with gaming. And the example I give, Lost Odyssey, there is a JRPG that did Expedition 33 before Expedition 33, it's just no one played it, right? It is I remember I had it, I did own it at one point, but like a fool, when I got rid of my 360, I got rid of that game as well. But essentially, if I remember correctly, it is you play as an immortal, right? It's a 4-disc game, right? You play as an immortal who lives through, you know, his lifetime, seeing people he knows die, becomes completely complacent to it, and it's just like, you know what, I don't care, people die around me. And, you know, it's still a story about loss and and how people deal with that. And it has the context, what's it called? Context, what? When you gotta press a button at the right time. Help me.
QTE?
Yeah, QTE, yes. What's the other word for it? Context. Shit. James, you're not helping me. Kavi, you're not helping me. Oh my god.
I thought you had it. Let's see. Let's ask Dr. Google. Context sensitive?
Yeah, maybe. Context sensitive. Game? Yeah, context sensitive. Yeah, sure. Context sensitive controls. Yes. They had that right before Expedition 33 did. Right, whereas when you do an attack, a ring appears. Mind you, this is also a thing that the Shadow Hearts series has done before. That's their old series that they need to bring back. But, you know, a ring appears, and then it closes in, you press the button at the right time, you get extra damage. Right?
Right, okay, yeah.
Like, I don't want to say Expedition 33 did nothing new. They just did it very well, but that's kind of what it is, right? And I feel like if Lost Odyssey had a remaster today, it would do phenomenal. The problem is it's stuck on Xbox 360. You can get it on eShop, but no one has a 360 or an Xbox One and has it hooked up to the internet to buy that shit. I think you can get on Series S and Series X, but who owns those? Right? Everyone's now on PC and on PlayStation and on Nintendo. Like shit. I think for Microsoft, it would make sense to just start porting a bunch of these games to PC.
Yeah, I think Lost Odyssey is stuck in like rights hell, I think. Something like that. But on the other hand, Sony has done a great job at preserving The Last of Us 1 and 2.
Oh my god, man. Oh, fuck. What did I see the other day? I swear Sony was going to remaster another game. They didn't need to. What was it? But it was something along the lines of like Last of Us Part 2, and it's like you don't need this.
They did the Last of Us Part 2 remaster.
They did, which is stupid. But I swear I saw something that they were looking to do another game in that same vein, where it's like it already looks good and doesn't need a remaster, but it's going to get one anyway. Can't remember what
they
it
did
is.
it for Days Gone.
And Days Gone did not need shit. Days Gone is a game that should die. The developer sucks. I said it.
Was it the second Horizon?
I don't think so, but man, like, it's one of those things where at a certain point, just if it's been more than 10 years since your game came out, maybe you could use another 5. Right? Like, shit, man, there's too many like remasters and collections that I think don't push the needle enough and are like, it's nice to have like more opportunity to play some of these more recent games, but we need more things like the Capcom fighting game collections, like the Bomberman collection that got announced at that Nintendo Direct, right? We need more stuff like that where it takes these old ass games and actually brings them onto modern consoles and to PC in a way that's, you know, again, legal to obtain and it can actually run. Like, I would be very interested in looking up how many games are just basically lost to time now because they were, you know what, here's a good example. Crimson Shroud for the 3DS. You want to talk about a game that would do phenomenal today, especially with the rise of people playing Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop RPGs. Crimson Shroud was a 3DS game that involved a time loop, right? It's a turn-based RPG and you roll dice to do a bunch of shit. Like, that's a winning combination. That's Baldur's Gate 3. But portable. And it was an eShop only game. And now you can't get it anymore. Unless, again, through emulation. Or if you just happen to own a 3DS that has it installed already. Like, it makes no sense, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so some of these games make sense because like I said a little earlier, some of them are stuck in like some kind of limbo, right? Like legal limbo. But others, like a lot of Nintendo games, like there's like no excuse, like what's going on?
Nintendo just wants to release more Zeldas and Pokemons.
How is Nintendo not doing, you know, and especially now we're coming on the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, right? That's a thing that's happening very soon, or is already happening. I don't even know anymore. I'm not keeping up to date with it. But why is there not like a proper collection of the old Pokemon games that's available physically, or even in a digital collection? I think I swear they did try to do that to an extent, but like, you need to do more of that.
Yeah. See, like they released the Galaxy collection, right, for like $100, right, Canadian. That sold fairly decently. Now imagine them just porting over, like, not even the classic Pokemon, just Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Yeah.
Like, for $100. We'll buy that for sure.
That's the thing, right? Like, Nintendo's showing with the whole eShop expansion pack thing, where you can play emulated versions of these games because you're not running them on actual hardware. You are emulating them. You're just paying for emulation. They're showing that like there is a willingness and there are people who want to play old games on their modern consoles. Why isn't, you know, the original 3 Metroid Primes a bundle collection, not even including the remaster of Metroid Prime 1? Why is there no like Metroid 1, 2, and 3 Just a collection you can buy. Why is there not Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, all that bullshit for Zelda that's available to buy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you've already remade the games before. Like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask have been on the N64, the GameCube, the Wii as well, and the 3DS. You could totally have them on the Switch, but it's like, why are they not an actual thing? Like, it's just so confusing to me that these companies just like, and it's like you don't have to devote like your main studios to this. You can grab your B and C studios to do these ports.
Game Freak.
Yeah, no, not them. Oh man, I don't know. Let's move on from this. I'm getting pissed off at all this stuff now.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about something a little more uplifting, like the Canadian weather.
Oh my God. It's Jesus Christ. I'm not ready for more snow and more cold. Here we go. Okay, so recently announced there's going to be a Baldur's Gate 3 TV series. Larian Studio is going to have no involvement with it at all.
Ooh.
Are you excited? Would you watch it still?
I am cautiously optimistic.
Supposedly, it takes place after the events of the game. So now the question
who's
is,
handling it?
The guy who did Chernobyl, I think.
So it's on Max?
It's on HBO, yeah.
Then it might be good. Their production quality is one of the top tier ones, so.
But the problem is the guy who did Chernobyl is also the one who's doing, I think he did the most recent season of Last of Us, did he not? Let me see.
That's also because Last of Us 2 was trash.
There's
adapting that.
There's definitely some truth to that. Yeah, he did. He's the Last of Us producer as well in the TV series. So
for season 1 and season 2, or just season 2?
It says since 2023. Was season 1 2023? I think so, right?
Yeah.
Sounds, or was it a little bit earlier than that?
Because season 2 was 2024, 2025, no?
No, 2023. Yeah, there we go. So yeah. He's also the one. He's involved with Dune Part 2. Oh man, there's like some good stuff and some bad stuff in here for his record, his pedigree. Let's see. So he's done Chernobyl, which is his biggest claim to fame, right? Because of how good that was.
Yeah.
The Last of Us series, Dune Part 2, Mythic Quest, if you ever checked that out while it was still running. The Hangover movies, Scary Movie 3 and Scary Movie 4.
A wide range.
And then just a bunch of other random stuff. And it's like, oh man.
He's a wide range.
Yep. I don't know. I think the main takeaway is that, Larian is the reason why Baldur's Gate 3 did so well, right? Their love for D&D, and then, the way they had, the characters written, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's like, what, you're going to have Astarion and it's not going to be Neil? Right? Like, that's going to, you're going to have Shadowheart and it's not going to be Jennifer English?
Are they going to use the main party though?
It's based off Baldur's Gate 3, right? Like, why would you do Baldur's Gate 3 the TV series and have it not have the main party right? That sounds so bizarre.
You're following the NPCs.
And again, it's supposed to take place afterwards, so that means you now have to have an actual canon ending for the game.
It could be like the Fallout show.
True, it could be like the Fallout show. I think my issue is that the Baldur's Gate as a franchise, but yes, it has a long history, but you're either pulling from the obscurity of the actual tabletop game, or you have to pull from the old ass games, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, or you're going to do what this guy's doing, which is probably just do Baldur's Gate 3 as your base. And like how much, like what? Like are you going to bring back Mind Flayers? Like that's supposed to be solved. What do you do next? Right? Are you going to do Raphael? Was it Raphael? It was Raphael, right? The
devil.
The devil? Yeah. Are you going to do him? I don't know. That could be solved in the player's game. Whose save file are you using to base your world off of? Right?
It's a save file.
Like Fallout works, I think, because there's enough in that world where you have creative freedom, and because there are certain narrative threads that are a continuous thing through each player's playthrough in Fallout 3 and in New Vegas, that you can kind of cherry pick which ones you want to be the canon events to make this show, right? Whereas with Baldur's Gate, you can end up the game with any range of the party. It can be just your character. It doesn't even have to be your character. It could be just like Astarion, right? If you're a diehard enough person, you could probably finish the game with just one character.
True.
So how do you story this?
Yeah, so I think, in my opinion, the best way to go about this is don't use any of the main cast. Have the secondary cast be like guest appearances, right? And leave details ambiguous, right? I think that is the best way to approach this.
I mean,
yeah, because with the Fall TV show, they heavily implied one of the New Vegas endings.
I did hear about that. One. Yeah, I did hear about that. Still haven't watched the show yet. I still need to do that, but
I mean, does Fallout actually have like set playable characters like Baldur's Gate does?
Well, there's set characters that like you will encounter in your playthrough, but the only playable character is your character that you create.
Right.
But the idea is that with the TV series, what's her name? Is it Anna Purnell or Purnell?
Ella Purnell.
Ella Purnell. Sorry. She's essentially the stand-in for the playable character. That's all it is, right? And Fallout is a space where it's like you can dive into the stories of the various vaults and all the horror that happens in those vaults while people are waiting for the nuclear radiation to dissipate enough for them to leave. Then you have the story of what happens after they leave the vaults, right? Similar to the whole thing I was saying before about Star Wars, where it's like there's enough to play around with in that world that you can create your own shit and not be bound to certain things other than some factions, right?
True.
Unless the story in for Baldur's Gate follows a Dark Urge as just its own created character and just follows its own story.
But Dexter already exists. Right? Like
20 Dexter shows now.
Right? Like, I don't need medieval Dexter with magic. That's just a D&D campaign.
That sounds cool, man.
Critical Role exists already.
This is live action.
It's Critical Role not live action?
Well, that's just tabletop live action. This is like actual live action.
Oh my god.
This is LARPing with actual CG.
I would rather they spend the resources and just do another, that's like a sequel to the D&D movie.
Oh man,
the new one.
Yeah, like the most recent one. I thought that was a fun movie, right?
It was fun,
right? It was nice and easy to digest, right? You understood all the characters, had enough little bits in there for us D&D players, right? And for people who aren't into D&D, it's like it's just a fantasy movie that's fun.
Yeah. It was the Baldur's Gate 3 before Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, exactly. It was a nice stepping stone into it, right? To get people.
For me.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember when we went to watch it, Giselle came along with us, right? And she was like, on the way there, she was like super worried that she wouldn't get anything, right? She kept asking me all these questions. I was like, don't worry about it. Just don't worry. Just know that it's a fantasy world with magic, right?
Yeah.
And she came out of the theater. She loved the movie, right?
Yeah, because for me, like when that movie came out, I wasn't really into the whole D&D. I was like, I mean, I would ask questions about your campaign when you guys were like doing campaigns, but like I wasn't really in the D&D world. But like, I watched the movie. I had fun. Like, I mean, I understood certain like Easter eggs because I was kind of familiar with the fantasy world and whatnot, but a lot of it was just, it was a fun movie. But post Critical Role and post me being like more intrigued in the D&D, and I rewatched the film and I'm like, I get a lot of these now. So I'm like, that's where like I'm like, I see like knowing references like before watching and then watching again after knowing references, it changed the movie for me completely.
And that's where sorry, go ahead, James.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was just gonna say there was a lot of fan service for the people who actually play the game.
And that's where I think that them not including Larian for the Baldur's Gate TV show is going to be a potential mistake. Because Larian knows, or at least the writers know, the majority of the little bits of information that you need to know to really make, some of that fan service special. This is like the equivalent of like when Game of Thrones, when we got to those last seasons where George was hands off basically for the project, and we saw what happened, right?
He's like Witcher.
Yeah, oh my god. Oh my god, don't even get me started. But yes.
It's like Witcher.
I don't know if my theory, like I have a theory about Game of Thrones. I don't know if
go
it's a popular one, but I'm like 99% sure is that the show ended like how George was planning to end it, and he did it as sort of should I do this? Let's see how people react, right? And now that he saw that people hated it, he's like rewriting everything he had.
So the book's not done yet, right?
No, it's not.
They're not done. No.
So while I think there is some truth in that, the fact that so many of the characters were changed for the show, right? The fact that Jon Snow essentially became 3 characters in one for the show, whereas in the book it's like 3 separate characters who do his story. Like I feel like there's like, I don't know, I don't see that being the ending of Song of Fire and Ice, especially with like Daenerys turning crazy all of a sudden. Like,
oh boy.
Like her whole thing about trying to break the chain of all that shit, and then just doing it, becoming the trend, right? Like that made no goddamn sense. I remember when the small little bell shop that's in the mall were giving out the final season posters, and I was like, oh sick, yeah, I'll grab a whole bunch of these. I love Game of Thrones. I had them on my wall. Gone. After that season, I was like, I'm taking this shit down. I was that sports fan who burned their jersey, you know, when their favorite player like changed teams. That was me, man.
That was you with Witcher.
With the TV series, yes. Not with the books or the games, no.
Yeah.
God, speaking of which, man, dude, the rumor mill happening of a third full DLC happening for Witcher 3. That's going to be that's supposed to be a tie-in for Witcher 4.
Witcher 4.
Like, I'm losing my mind. I'm eating up every little crumb of evidence, right? You're telling me that we can get a DLC of Geralt and Ciri in a desert region, right? Shit, dude.
Would it be Geralt and Ciri? Aren't they like separated at the end of Witcher 3?
No, but it's supposed to bridge the gap. It's supposed to bridge the gap. That's the thing, right? And also, you know, if you got, you know,
isn't Witcher 4 you're playing as Ciri? No,
you're playing as Ciri, yes, but Geralt's still in the game. They already announced that he's essentially a side character now. It's the reverse.
He's the Vesemir of Witcher 4.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And for people who are, you know, actual fans, they know that the story of The Witcher is like, arguably, it's Ciri's story. Arguably. A lot of it is Geralt's, like, you know, it's his point of view. But the story is about her, right?
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, the books, a lot of them focused on Ciri.
Yes.
Yeah.
So again, Witcher 4 being, you know, her being the protagonist makes all the sense. And then if you're going to, you know, bridge the gap for getting more people to buy copies of Witcher 3, right? You put out another DLC the size of Heart of Stone or of Blood and Wine. So Game of the Year, you know, winning, you know, contenders. Right.
Yep.
You put out, you know, a 20-hour, 30-hour DLC that you gotta buy the full game for, full price, whatever the fuck, or, you know, $30. Get the DLC, play through it, get that bridge to Witcher 4 without, you know, and if people who don't play the DLC, it's just like, oh, Witcher 4 starts, whatever. But you play the DLC, now you get all this extra story and shit. Similar to how back when BioWare was good and you did Dragon Age 1 and then Dragon Age 2 and then Inquisition, and you had that, you know, the ability to actually carry information over. Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3.
Website.
Yes, the website for Inquisition. Yeah. Like, when I was replaying Outer Worlds, or not replaying, when I was playing Outer Worlds 2, the entire time I was thinking, man, I should just play Mass Effect again. Like, I'm now convinced that Obsidian struck gold with New Vegas, and then otherwise is a mediocre company.
Yes, they are pretty good at working with other people's IPs, but they're not very creative themselves.
Like, nothing has,
like on their own.
Yeah, like nothing. Like Pillars of Eternity, sure, it's cool, but it didn't pick up, like, you know, it's trying to carry the torch of Baldur's Gate. Didn't quite do that. Divinity still outsold it. You also had Pathfinder do its own thing, similar to, you know, Baldur's Gate in that style of, you know, ARPG. Or not even, is it ARPG? No, it's an SRPG technically. Sure, whatever. But that type of RPG. So they're like, okay, let's instead do our own version of Fallout because Bethesda doesn't want us to work for them again. They do Outer Worlds 1. It gets good reviews, but it's called, relatively short compared to the scope of Fallout. So we're like, okay, let's do our own version of Elder Scrolls with Avowed. Didn't do shit. And then Outer Worlds 2 came out, and it's like, okay, it's kind of still Fallout, but also Mass Effect in a way, because there's more emphasis on companions, but it's still sort of like Fallout vibe of you can kind of handle things however you want. Yeah, no, it's just I don't see them. And I swear not the CEO, but one of the developers came out like this week and was basically said that, like, yeah, we should not have released so many games so close together. Meanwhile, you have a game like Witcher 3 that's been cooking for a decade, still top tier material to play. And you be CD Projekt Red, you have nothing else on your plate. You're hard at work at Witcher 4. You have another team doing the Witcher 1 remake. You have another team over here doing Cyberpunk 2. And then you just grab this team down here and you have them do DLC for a game that you know inside and out. You just give them the blueprints. You tell them the story to do. Done. Easy money.
Yep.
More developers need to be smart. Shit.
Not every developer can afford 10-year development cycle.
No, this is true. This is true. I mean, Nintendo can, but they're shit at it.
Oh, Metroid.
Always bringing it back to Nintendo.
When that article came out about Metroid Prime 4's development, like I felt the pain of retro games and the fact that they were like, yeah, we wanted to start from scratch completely, but Nintendo said no, you work with what Bandai Namco started. And they were like, okay, cool, so we have this giant open world with nothing to do in it and a forced motorcycle mechanic. Yay. They salvaged what they could, but man, guy, I'm so disappointed. My ability to hate on Nintendo only grows because for whatever reason they just, I don't know if it's the fact that like maybe Nintendo games just aren't for me anymore. Like I started off my gaming started with Nintendo, and I've just been constantly being pushed away from them because of decisions that their developers make. It's like, Pokemon, the amount of things you can do in Pokemon, it keeps feeling like it's being reduced instead of growing with every new iteration. The challenge is no longer there for the games either. The new Donkey Kong is a cool tech demo and not much else. It should not have been a Game of the Year nominee, right? Metroid is not Metroid anymore. The last time Metroid was Metroid was when Mercury Steam or Mercury Stream, whatever their company name is, when they did Dread. Great, cool, it's still Metroid. Then you have the actual Metroid with Prime 4 come out. It's shit. It's literally any other sci-fi shooter, just Metroid slapped onto it. Mario Kart World sucks, right? Mario Party sucks.
And Mario Party is pretty fun.
It's okay. Right. It's fun, but then the price of it is too high now, right? It's like $140 for like the complete version or some shit.
Oh, fuck it.
Right? Because
is it? No,
because you had to buy the full game, which was already full price, and then you had to buy the DLC, the Jamboree TV DLC, if you want to get like all the extra bullshit that should have just been free.
I could assume it was like 110 or something like that.
The number's too damn high.
It is.
And like I can only imagine what the next Zelda is going to be. I swear to God, if it's
Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom,
if it's another open world
Fire
game,
the Ashes.
like I don't need open world Zelda. Like learn from what your main consumer base wants, right? And yes, that would, if you're listening to all the casual people, it's definitely do more Breath of the Wild, because they eat that shit up and then they don't finish the game. The completion rate of that game is so low, it's insane. But why not go back and do, you know, the original, not the original style. I'm not talking like NES, you know, SNES Arrow stuff. I'm like, do Ocarina, do a large field. Don't worry about having to travel as much, right? Or do
voice acting.
Add voice acting. Well, I mean, some Zelda games have voice acting, right? Like Breath of the Wild has voice acting. It's just not in the right places because the story wasn't told very well. But do a Souls-like. As much as I hate to say that there's too many Souls-like, Zelda.
Oh, you know what?
Zelda needs a Souls-like.
Yeah, you know, Twilight Princess sequel, Souls-like.
Yeah, right. That would sell.
I'll be nice.
You know, where's my new Star Fox? I'm still wait. Who?
The Smash Bros guy?
Like Nintendo has so many genres they can just bring into the forefront. Again, that doesn't have to have Mario slapped onto it. Where, you know, the people who have money will buy it because of nostalgia, but they just don't do it, right? It's insane. It's actually insane.
Okay, they'll just bring out another Smash Bros.
But they won't. Until the red button needs to be hit, they won't. The same way Capcom was like, oh shit, let's hit the red button, Resident Evil 2 remake. Right? Now Capcom is back to being one of the best companies ever. Right?
Not to mention Konami.
You know, Konami, like, they're still kind of fucked. But, you know, Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, it didn't push the needle that much, but it made people start thinking about Konami again.
Do you forget Silent Hill?
Oh yeah,
that was really good.
Sorry, I don't even associate Konami with Silent Hill. Because it was actually good. Yeah, Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill F, you know, both great games, right? And it's like, just Nintendo just doesn't, they don't see what the other Japanese companies are doing, I think, with the whole like revitalizing their franchises properly. And they're too focused on the old Nintendo adage, which is if you can't add a new mechanic, you can't progress, right? Like that's always been Nintendo's thing, where it's like every new game needs to do something like that's new, even though sometimes it's not actually new, it's just new for Nintendo. Then you just need to do something new before being greenlit, right?
What's new for Smash Bros?
No, that's the thing. That's the thing with Smash Bros. So original Smash Bros. On N64 sold okay, right? It did, you know, it was the first time Nintendo characters were fighting each other. People bought it mostly because it was like a party game, which Smash Bros. Is a party game. It's an actual fighting game. Come at me. Melee continued that, but they added that sort of like underground competitive aspect. Even though the GameCube itself didn't, you know, push the needle as much as like PS2 did, there was enough people out there who were like, oh yeah, let's buy Melee and shit. So it became one of the top sellers for the GameCube. The Wii is where that shit took off, because now you have more characters. You have a game where your whole family can play together with 4 players and shit. But every time it was all because, you know, Sakurai wanted to make a new Kirby game. And Nintendo's like, well, we need a franchise that actually sells, so make us another Smash Brothers, right? Sakurai's not with Nintendo anymore. you're not getting another Smash Brothers. Pretty simple. Or if he is with Nintendo, he's only doing, you know, very few things because he doesn't want to make games. Like, he's done. He's been doing it for a million years. And I don't think Nintendo has, and you can't even get what the last Smash Brothers had anymore, which was Nintendo actually being able to, through Sakurai, reach out to other game companies and get them to agree to put the characters in Smash Brothers. That deal with Square Enix, especially using the Advent Children versions of Cloud and Sephiroth, which are Sony owned, crazy that you got those in Smash. The fact that you got, you know, a variety of Konami characters, crazy. You got Sora, who is the most fucking like rights held character among them all. Square plus Disney plus a whole bunch of other shit in there, and you got that, right? Like, you can't do that again. And people who are like, oh, I need a new Smash for my Switch 2, you won't get the same thing. You'll get Smash 64, where it's just base ass Nintendo characters. People don't want that. People want their bullshit.
They want their Steve from Minecraft.
Exactly. They want Steve from Minecraft. I don't know. I'm just... It was a different era. And I don't think that many companies want to side or do those deals with Nintendo anymore, because it's like, we can just make our own game. And our own game will carry itself. Right? Like, that's how I feel. That's how I see it happening.
I got the title for the podcast.
What?
No more Smash.
No more Smash. Oh my god. Oh Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, we are over by a bit. Any closing thoughts after my goddamn rant, my old man, you know, on his lawn fucking shaking.
8-bit do sponsor Alex.
Yes. 8-bit do, 8-bit do. However you want to say it.
Yeah. How do you say it?
I say 8-bit do, because it's like Nintendo 8-bit do. That's the way I see it, right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyways, Kavi, any last words? All right, James. Absolute cinema. Okay, with that, we're closing out the second episode of our podcast. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, all that good stuff. You can find these two at the information that'll be below their faces, because reasons. Yeah. All right. Have a good one. Good night.